Come and fly away with us. Episode 1. Healthy choices. Do-do-do.
Hey, here we go. So, trying to stay focused. That's the real thing. So my lifestyle of travel, and I would say most people's lifestyles of, goodness, along with a good life, depends on us as individuals making healthy choices. So that's why it's like one of my things, healthy choices, right? And the first thing, and this is it's just what's got to go, right? Like before we even talk about like eating and exercise, chemical dependency, aka addiction, that has just got to go, man. Like any kind of chemical dependency is weakness. The more that you need, the weaker you are. Of course, we all need water, but imagine someone who like didn't need water. Just like imagine that. Like an Olympic athlete that didn't get thirsty, like that makes that person so much more capable. Whereas on the other hand, people who just are never satisfied, they always need more, they always need to have everything, the greed mongers among us, truly they're weak. Is benevolence that is strength. The more you need, the more weak you are. So if you need tobacco, for example, in order to calm down, that's a weakness. That's something that, like a weakness in your armor, that's something that you aren't going to be able to really control, and it's going to affect you negatively. It could even be used against you. It's this beautiful bridge. Yay, buen camino. Yay. Well, where am I? So anyway, any kind of addiction is something, and addiction is the point where you can't control it anymore. Any kind of addiction is something that needs to be worked on and fought, like that's your battle. That's where you need to figure out how to not put that poison in your body anymore. So there's different kind of poisons. There's heroin, as an example of one of the worst ones. Why is it a poison? What's it a poison? It makes you feel good while it hurts you. Heroin destroys your body, it destroys your mind, but it destroys those your spirit and your heart too. You could make a whole long list. It's a terrible, terrible poison. Hey buddy, here we go. But it makes you feel good while it does it. So your body thinks that it needs it. You think you need it, you think you like it, and then you just put more and more into your body until you can't stop. You can't control yourself. It's a very strong urge. That's why drugs are so scary, because they change what you want. You don't need them at all, but they change what you want. And then you want the poison and you kill yourself with it. So that's not healthy. That's got to go. Whew. Next, onto food. Because you'd be addicted to food too, but food's a little harder, a little more difficult thing, because, well, you need to eat food. Now, I've discovered in life, we all need a little bit less than we think we need. But we do need some food at some point. Jesus fasted 40 days in the wilderness and nights, they say. So, just an example of how there's a lot of energy stored in our body, and if you don't have all the calories you need, you can still not only survive, but you can still do. So anyway, we'll talk more about fasting later, but as far as what you eat, you want to avoid empty and artificial foods, and of course very unhealthy ones too. Donuts, for example, whole bunch of fat, a whole bunch of carbohydrates, a whole bunch of sugar, not a whole lot of nutrients. We call that an empty food. An empty food is something that doesn't have any nutrients. Maybe it's got a lot of energy. And hey, if you're starving, right? Like if you're really having a rough time and you need calories, then I guess that's a good time for a donut, especially if you enjoy donuts. But here, he's a fan. He's a big fan. He's clapping. And then artificial foods are things that are, made by a robot. Real foods come out of the ground. You don't want to be eating like cheese doodles. You know, I guess that's corn, but it don't look like corn. Corn is a green cylinder, and you unwrap the leaves, and there's yellow pieces of corn. And hey, I like cheese doodles. You know, they are scientifically designed to be something that humans enjoy. Salty, crunchy things, very yummy. Good boy. You thirsty? I don't know what he's doing. He's checking things out. So you want to avoid artificial and empty foods and just try to eat good natural foods. I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, it's pretty obvious, right? So really, life, as far as healthy choices go, becomes doing our best to avoid all of these toxic things in our environment every day as the world tries to sell it to us, whether it's for their own money profit, or come on buddy, come on, we're going this way, or just to normalize their own unhealthy behavior. So that's a struggle we all face. And the more that you like something, the more it'll affect how you want it, and the more you want something, the more difficult it is to not buy it when it gets shoved in your face. But you need to be able to, as I put it, defeat these things. The defeat, that is to say the battle, occurs within yourself. It is your desire for these things that you must defeat, as in overcome, control yourself. You really cannot be healthy in this world, at least not in the countries that I come from and been to, without being able to say no to the donuts, no to Snicker bars. You know, in USA, they try to sell you a Snicker bars, like, or you know, whatever candy bars. There's a bunch of them, whatever your favorite is. I like Snickers. You know, that's what I grew up on as a little kid, eating Snickers. You know, and oatmeal cream pies. Like, I love those things, but I eventually start reading the ingredient labels and learn what the heck's in them. That's not good for me. That's bad for me. And like, they're made by a robot somewhere, you know, they're made by a machine somewhere. Like, it's not real food. If I get a Snicker bar for my birthday from my dad, for example, you know what? That's a special Snicker bar. But every single time I go to the gas station, every single time I go to the grocery store, the department store, or pretty much any store, you know, vending machine, random spots, ta-da, there it is. Like, there's a Snicker bar calling to your stomach. You need to defeat that, because if you're eating a Snicker bar 3 to 4 times a day, every time you pass by them, then you are dying to Snicker bars. Like, they are defeating you, they are killing you. Or all the candy bars, right? Just like too much sugar. Sugar itself, in its natural form, is good for us. It's okay for us. We need some sugar. Too much would be unhealthful. But as far, you know, think back to like our ancestral diet. Think back to how we evolved over thousands of years. A Coca-Cola had 64 grams of sugar in it, in liquid form. When you drink that, your blood insulin level spikes up, and your liver thinks you've been poisoned. It is not a healthy state of being for our bodies. It is an imbalance. And very rarely would our ancestors have ever absorbed that much sugar at once. Maybe if they happened upon a beehive and just ate a whole bunch of honey, then maybe that would have happened. But that's a rare thing. That's a rare occurrence for that lucky caveman. More often, people eat a bunch of fruit, but fruit is in the fiber. It's in the natural form, so it doesn't hit your bloodstream like a 64-gram liquid beverage of Coca-Cola. Even if you eat that same amount of sugar in fruit, it hits your bloodstream slower because your body has to break down the fiber molecules to access the sugar. And that is how that works. So fruit is something that you can have in great abundance, and it's also filled with nutrients and all vitamins and minerals, all sorts of things that are good for your body, where the Snicker bar has little to nothing. The peanuts got a few grams protein in there, and protein is something that's pretty good, and pretty much as long as you're moving, you want to have at least some protein. If you're moving a lot and doing lots of hard work, using your muscles like all the time, then you want to have a lot more protein. If you have too much protein, as in like you're not doing anything and you're just eating a bunch of protein, sitting around all day eating meat or something. I don't know. Something I've never done in my life. Jeez. Then your body just converts it into fat and stores it away. And potentially, I think your body puts some of these molecules inside of fat. But I don't know too much about that. But things that we want to learn more of. No one knows everything. We're all on our journey of learning. So continuing on, gosh, already out of time. Let's finish this off. We want to beat Snickers. We want to beat the candy and enjoy grandma's cookies. The sugar is okay sometimes. And when they turn it into this, processed high fructose corn syrup or, white sugar, it's, it very quickly becomes too much for our body. It very quickly becomes a poison to us because too much sugar, especially all the time, creating these blood sugar imbalances constantly. Oh, you probably heard of diabetes. Like, it causes a lot of problems, and your teeth fall out and some other things. So we need to be able to beat sugar. Or, fatty, salty, whatever, meat, alcohol, cigarettes, heroin. We need to be able to defeat all of these things. We need to rise above our want for those things to pursue a better life. Sometimes grandma made you cookies for your birthday. That's not heroin. That's not the same thing. There's no sometimes for heroin. That's a poison and it kills you and destroys your family around you while it does it. It's terrible. But grandma made some cookies. Grandma's good, cookies are good. You can enjoy grandma's cookies, but don't buy Snicker bars every day.